Hi, everybody. Good Monday, and I'm so happy to say finally, welcome to spring, even though we've enjoyed the fruits of the season earlier than what we should have for quite some time, even though it did revert back to winter. Wasn't the greatest start to the spring season this morning, wet, then on the chilly side. And we might even get in on another round of some showers a little later on tonight. A little bit of a break in the action. We'll outline your near and long-term forecast for you in much more detail in just a few moments. I can tell you that spring is very alive in the forecast throughout at least some of it. We've got temperatures into the upper 60s and 70s in your forecast period, but you got to pay to play, so to speak. There's some sun, there's some rain, there's some clouds, and some other things that we'll talk about in just a few moments. Now, looking ahead real quickly, I've had a few schedule changes, and in fact spent much of the day up until 1 o'clock when I was thinking that was when I was to report to the Goffin County Fiscal Court meeting, that I realized that meeting was set for tomorrow, so I just had my calendar backwards, and even that has since changed. So here's what's on tap throughout the rest of the week, at least in part. The Sackville City Council meeting is still on tap for tonight. It's a regular session meeting of the council. Several items on the agenda that I'll be covering for you on tomorrow night's program. The Goffin County Fiscal Court meeting, which was to take place tomorrow at 1, has now been rescheduled, and thus for Tuesday, I can tell you of this week, at 1 o'clock has been rescheduled for this Thursday at 5 o'clock. I believe that will make it, of course, going from a regular session meeting tomorrow to a special call session this Thursday at 5. Nevertheless, we'll have a camera there and a report to follow. So City Council tonight at 7. Fiscal Court now moved up to Thursday at 5. Also, the Goffin County Board of Education is to meet this week. Their regular session meeting is set for tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. So we'll have a camera covering that as well. So once again, Council tonight at 7, Fiscal Court Thursday at 5, Board of Education tomorrow at 7. And the meeting this week this month for the Goffin County Board of Education will be held in the Goffin County High School Library as they're rotating venues for their meetings. With that said, one of the reports that I aired for you on last Friday was a burglary that we had received word of from both the homeowner and from the Sheriff's Department. We ran a few items. I just had a list of a Kubota side-by-side, high-powered rifle, and some other items, flat-screen TVs that were taken from a Reed residence on River Road. And we passed along those information and that information and details in hope that someone might pick up a lead for authorities over the course of the weekend. And just today, Goffin County Sheriff Carson Montgomery says he did get a tip over the course of the weekend of a man literally driving the stolen side-by-side loaded down with what he has confirmed to be stolen goods and merchandise at this time in Goffin and in Breathitt County, attempting to sell some of the stolen goods and the machine itself. He says that he received the tip over the course of the weekend and that authorities were, after getting a warrant in the suspect's name just a short time ago, looking to make an arrest by tonight possibly. With a scene that you can't help but think looks straight out of the Beverly Hillbillies, Goffin County Sheriff Carson Montgomery says that after opening up an investigation into a case late last week that I told you of on Friday, that being the burglary of a Goffin County residence belonging to Ronald Reed on River Road, where someone had broken in since he had left a few days prior and made off with a number of items, TVs and guns and a Kubota side-by-side. Sheriff Carson Montgomery says he received a tip over the course of the weekend of someone trying to sell possibly some of those items and others and the side-by-side in a neighboring county. And upon recovering the side-by-side and literally a truckload of other items, he believes that so far they have solved at least 2 burglaries that have happened in Goffin County in just the past several days.
Yes, this time we believe at least 2, possibly more. We have some items recovered that we don't have any victims to yet, so if anybody recognizes anything that possibly could be theirs, they could get up with us at the office. We'll let them look. And
the Sheriff's Department is still going through hundreds of items. So far, they have tracked or traced them back to the burglaries of the Carver Church, which happened about 10 days to 2 weeks ago, as well as the Reed residence burglary just last week. But there are still a great many items that are unaccounted for as to linking them with their owner, which means that it's more than likely that their suspect may be tied to other burglaries or thefts in the Goffin and Breathitt and maybe even other surrounding areas.
We received a phone call later Friday night from a person in Breathitt County, and I in return went to Breathitt County and met up with Deputy Steve McIntosh with Breathitt County Sheriff's Office. We went to some homes where we know that our suspect might frequently visit, and several people informed us they had saw him in the last few days on and off, that he was riding the vehicle we believe to be the Kubota we have impounded at this time.
A side-by-side that was filled with everything from drugs and paraphernalia that they believe belonged to the suspect, as well as items that they believe were stolen from the two locations and possibly others that were stuck in every nook, crevice, and cranny of the side-by-side. Montgomery says that it's believed that the suspect was driving the side-by-side around, maybe even as you see it loaded down here in McGoffin and in neighboring Breathitt County, attempting to sell items off of it and attempting to sell the side-by-side itself. And after getting that tip over the course of the weekend that led them to a McGoffin County residence, he was not there. They believe that he may have fled on foot just prior to their arrival. But they do have an active warrant in the name, which is yet to be released, with an arrest pending and a follow-up report possibly as soon as on tomorrow's program. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Friday's programming contained some breaking news and headlines that forced me to put off one of the reports that we had planned. That was coverage of indictments returned last week by a sitting Johnson County grand jury. Lisa A. Gibson with a West Liberty address was actually named in two separate indictments. The first related to events that authorities say happened in February of this year around the 6th. She was indicted on charges of criminal possession of a forged instrument in the second degree. That's a Class D felony. Possession of a controlled substance in the third degree, and possession or use of drug paraphernalia. Authorities testified before the grand jury that she had forged a check drawn on a Bailey individual of Sagersville and then tried to pass that forged check at the Paintsville Walmart before she was caught by police. She was also said to have been in possession of a Schedule III controlled substance during the time of her arrest, as well as a syringe for which she was charged with possession of paraphernalia. Her bail was set at $5,000 for that indictment, and apparently she was said to be in possession of another syringe and tobacco in her person, or on her person, when she was to be booked in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center on those charges or arrest, and thus charged with promoting contraband in the first degree, which is a Class D felony. That named in a separate indictment for the promoting contraband charge, which also she was ordered held on a $5,000 bond. The grand jury in Johnson County charges that Melissa Rife of Oil Springs, on or around, per information and testimony presented before them, the 12th day of January of this year, was in possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, a Class D felony, possession of drug paraphernalia as well, and possession of a prescription substance not in its original or proper container. She was indicted on those before mentioned charges, said to be in possession of methamphetamine, unlabeled bottles, as well as mirrors, which were used as a cutting surface for the drugs, as well as another substance not in its original container. She was ordered held on a $5,000 bond upon her arrest. Joel Garcia, also known as Jose Garcia, whose address was listed as an unknown on the indictment, was indicted on account of possession of a controlled substance in the first degree. Authorities brought before a grand jury testimony that alleged around November the 6th of last year that Garcia committed the offense of being in possession of cocaine, for which he was indicted. He was also ordered held on a $5,000 bond. John McKenzie, seen here in a photograph from a prior arrest, was indicted, and McKenzie is from Drift, Kentucky, was indicted on a charge of trafficking a controlled substance in the first degree over 2 grams of methamphetamine, and that's his complicity to traffic as well as tampering with physical evidence, which is a Class D felony itself, and being a persistent felony offender. The indictment says that sometime around December the 19th of last year in Johnson County, he was in complicity as well with 2 other individuals, Maxwell Warks and Daniel Johnson, who were found to be trafficking in methamphetamine and being in possession of more than 3 grams of the illegal drug. He was also said to be unlawfully concealing, destroying, removing, or altering physical evidence that he believed would be used against him, therefore charged with tampering with evidence. And that having a prior felony record, he's now been charged with being a persistent felony offender in the first degree. His bond was set at $20,000. As for the 2 men that Johnson was alleged to be in conspiracy with, they too were indicted and identified by grand jury documents as Maxwell B. Warks of East Point, who was indicted on account of trafficking in the first degree, that being methamphetamine, Class C felony, penalty 1 to 5 years, no more than a $10,000 fine, as he was said to have been guilty of, or accused of, I should say, of trafficking in more than 3 grams of methamphetamine. His bond was ordered set at $10,000. As was the bond of the 3rd individual alleged to be involved in the conspiracy to traffic in methamphetamine, that being Daniel L. Johnson of West Palm Beach, Florida, also indicted on account of trafficking in the first degree, that being methamphetamine. More local news to come in just a few moments. Right now, let's find out what's happening on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. Well, before I'm to wrap up the program and head out the door to cover tonight's Sangersville City Council meeting and some other items to cover on tomorrow's program, let me tell you about our pet of the week. This happy fella has been at the shelter now for a little while, and that means nothing more than he is just more than ready to go to his new forever home. Yeah, this guy is Trace, and I got this today from, of course, our friends over at Whiskers or Wags, the Johnson County Animal Shelter. If you got a little time, stop by and see them. The next time you're headed to or from Paintsville, they're at Shelter Way. It's on your right if you're headed to Paintsville. They're on New 460, and you can drop off $1. You can pick up a bag of food while you're out shopping, drop it off, volunteer. They need help sometimes transporting to the vet or to their new forever home. There's just all sorts of ways you can help, and it's just there's always an endless need, as there is an endless supply of love. Trace here has been there since June. Super lovable animal. He would do best in a home where he's the only pet. Nothing wrong with wanting all the attention. But nevertheless, he's about 38 pounds, about 18 inches, and absolutely full of love and would make someone a great pet. Stop by and check out Trace and see if he might be the best fit for you. And if he's not, for some reason, well, odds are you're going to find someone who is. The Johnson County Animal Shelter and Trace are Pet of the Week. And remember, you can always give them a call to find out more at 297-PETS. Now, as we go on to our community calendar, it's never the way you want to start a week, or, well, for that matter, end the week or have it happen in the middle of the week. But I've got a few technical problems with the calendar, and I've only got a portion of it showing up here on this file. So, nevertheless, let me go through what I do have for you this evening. And I do have an announcement, a reminder about the Water into Wine Food Pantry serving tomorrow for Senior Day. That's right, Senior Day is tomorrow from 8:30 till noon. Their regular day is this Wednesday, 8:30 till 3. And don't forget about the Senior Employment Program at the Big Sandy Community Action Program. If you're 55 or older, like a little extra income to supplement the income you already have, they can get you up to 15 hours a week of part-time employment and community service. They'll give you the training and related opportunities and education that you need. All you have to do is give them a call here locally at 349-2217. And like I said, I'm sorry, but a relatively brief community calendar tonight. I'll have it all. It is Monday. And maybe it's because it's spring. I don't know. I'm trying to blame anyone but myself. If you do have an announcement, we do the very best to get them on every day in a timely fashion. I didn't have any birthdays or anniversaries today, so I'm okay on that front. But if you've got one, that was how you get on the program. Mail, email, phone, fax, however you can get it to us. Tell me. I'll tell everyone about it. Now turning to funeral service announcements provided on behalf of our friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. We only knew on Friday of the passing of Kearney Howard. We didn't have his funeral service arrangements at this time, and since services were held on yesterday for Kearney Franklin Howard, 87, who passed away on the 17th, survived by his wife, Lois Hall Howard, sons Kevin and Darren Howard, and daughters Wanda Henley and Charlotte Frazier. Burials at the Howard Cemetery at Sayersville in Kearney's honor. Ora Lee Mural Push, 88 of Oxshire Branch, passed away on the 18th. She survived by her husband, Dallas Push, as well as her daughter, Gwen Arnott. Visitation will be tomorrow from 6 to 8, and then prior to Wednesday's services, they're going to start at 1 o'clock, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial will be at the Birchpatrick Cemetery at Bloomington, once again in honor of 88-year-old Ora Lee Push. And I've just received word of the passing of infant son Gabriel Ryan Hutchison, son of Kevin Hutchison and Kimberly Spradlin, who passed away on Sunday. Arrangements are being made by his family and to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Weather-wise, here's what I referred to earlier as we might be in a bit of a break in the action. There's a pretty good little grouping here of some showers and some thunderstorms that are being laid down, and this could very well skirt the viewing area, so that is still yet to come, still a few hours away, and still to the northern fringes of Kentucky. But right now, we're seeing nothing more than cloudy skies, temperatures in the 65-degree range, and they're actually on their way up right now. According to my thermometer, it's on the climb very slowly, but showing just a bit of an uptick. We will fall tonight to about 51 degrees for nighttime lows. I suspect a little warm air out in front of this mass that's going to make a plunge into Kentucky. And like I said, the eastern and far eastern, certainly Kentucky, looks to be possibly in its path. A few hours will certainly tell. As for tonight, we do have some, of course, as you just saw, a chance of some showers and storms. That's mainly before 3 a.m. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. And, 51 for a very comfortable and mild low tonight. For your tomorrow, the second day of spring, another spring-like day as far as temperatures are concerned, early spring. I think Tuesday will be painted like this, 20% chance of showers after 1, cloudy skies and a high of 62 with a wind out of the north, maybe 3 to 5. Tomorrow night, that same 20% chance of showers, not really going anywhere, just kind of maintaining at a 20% chance of showers then. Cloudy skies, 62 and 35 for your Tuesday high and low. Wednesday takes a hit. It's brief, however. Even though it's going to be mostly sunny, it's going to be mostly cooler. 45 and 24 for highs and lows, day and night. And then we'll rebound. We'll make the climb even to the 70s, beginning with Thursday. Full of sunshine, mostly sunny skies, 57 degrees. We'll see some clouds that night, but not making anything, and a nighttime low of 42. Temperatures climbing again on your Friday, upper 60s, more sunshine. Nighttime lows making their way back into the 50s as they are tonight for your Friday. So another nice day in the mix. And for the weekend right now, Saturday, 72. But mostly cloudy. With the warmth will come the return of a chance of showers. And in fact, 50% chance early and a likelihood we will see showers Saturday evening and Saturday night. Into your Sunday, we'll see temperatures back off to about 65, but we've still got showers and storms in the mix. Looks like we could be in store for a wet, albeit warm, first weekend of spring. That'll wrap it up for this Monday, the first day of many, many, many days of spring. I might not get tired of saying that. Thank you all for being a part of the program. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.